Hello everyone, Maryann here from Revealing Light Tarot, Astrology and Spirituality. Do you realize that I recorded an entire video and I think it would have been 40 odd minutes long or something like that, and I realized I hadn't pushed the recording button. So we're going to do it again, but we're going to take some shortcuts because and vary the questions a little bit because I already know some of those answers. So let's get started. First of all, I looked at Trump's natal chart again and looked at the transits. I feel, well, I'll bring it up in a minute. We'll look at that briefly. But I think his the transits and his natal, his horoscope, his zodiac, and the transits are showing that he's lost his head in a way. And I feel that June and July into partway through August are going to be fairly the most volatile months. I feel like there's a chance by the time we get to September that his term could implode, that he gets some kind of power taken away from him. Now, I haven't thrown cards on it, but I do feel the SCOTUS is going to take the power of setting tariffs away from him. And it was only a matter of time. I feel they already know it, that that was never his power to begin with, and that's going. So what did he do when the International Trade Court blocked him? When it went to appeal, they stopped the block while it goes up to the Supreme Court to hear the case. He set 50% tariffs, steel tariffs. Steel and aluminium tariffs, not only impacting not so much on China, it doesn't export much steel and aluminium, but on the EU and the UK. Australia does export a little bit of steel and aluminium, but it's going to impact other countries more so than us. And so we see this weaponization of trade yet again, and that is hurting businesses. Even someone like Boeing, who makes a plane in the US, imports other components from other countries, and so there will be job losses. Not perhaps not of steel workers, but in other industries that rely on imports of steel and aluminium for components of what they're making. These supply chains are so intertwined. So what do I think is going to come in September? I feel it has to do with the economy. I feel that there is some sort of crash coming, and that whether it's the Congress or perhaps those within his circles, there's some kind of maneuvering here to take power away from him. So I feel that there is a plot within already, the palace walls, the White House walls, and I feel it's coming from J.D. Vance. But let's get on with the reading. Just going to look at the astrology very quickly, and we'll move into the tarot and clairvoyance. A lot to cover here or go over. And so let's get started. Okay, so what am I doing here? No, let's go back. Sorry, I've put the chart somewhere. Let's shrink this a little bit and we go to, here's the chart. Yep. Alrighty. So here's Trump's natal, and we've got the transits in green. So his natal is the inner wheel and the green are the transits here. I do want to start with Algol. Let's see if this will. I'll just bring this down a bit so you can see. Oh, no, that's not what I want. Anyway, Algol is here. His Algol and Uranus is right here over his 10th house. His natal Algol in the 10th house of his career, of government, of authority. Now, Algol, if for those that don't know, is represented in mythology by the severed head of Medusa. And so this could be, again, another assassination plot looming. When I went into the clairvoyantly in the previous reading that I lost, I saw the sniper behind the grill again. Look, if you looking as though he was waiting for an opportunity. So I don't think the assassination threat has gone. Something unexpected. But I do feel that the natal and conjunct transiting Algol and Uranus is Trump literally losing his mind. I've lost my head. I don't feel that there is. I think there's an element of insanity there. Now, when I say insane, I feel that this is not a stable nor competent person to be running America, and I feel that it's becoming increasingly obvious that that is the case. What we see in the media about the fights in the White House, Besant shoving Musk's over, well, Musk's incessant and expansive drug taking, according to the New York Times. That is just the tip of the iceberg. I feel that drugs are sanctioned in the White House. We saw that in Trump's first term with the dispensation of all the drugs to the White House, and prescription after prescription of fairly heavy drugs. I feel that it's an accepted thing, but I feel Elon Musk's drug taking is out of control, and so Besant, again, according to Steve Bannon, shoving Elon Musk outside the Oval Office. I think that's just the tip of the iceberg. This is a chaotic, crisis-driven, incompetent government. And I feel that June and July and partway through August bears that out. We can see that, but by the time we get to the latter part of August and September, we start to see the chickens coming home to roost, the actual details. I think it is the economic disaster looming, perhaps the dollar crashing, it's certainly falling, perhaps the bond market crashing. Whatever it is that brings down this crash, it's to be laid firmly at the feet of Donald Trump. So we go down, apart from Algol and Uranus, which you can't see, they're just there, over his natal Algol. We start to see this kind of losing one's head. And then we move down to transiting Mars, which is conjunct. It is getting very close to his natal Mars. And that's aggression. That's in Leo, there are aggressive acts to bring himself to the forefront because he needs to be at the forefront of everything. Leo, in its more negative iteration, is someone that just can't be without the spotlight, will do certain things to put himself into the spotlight, whether that's good or bad for the person, or in this sense, in the country. So we see a ratcheting up in as Mars moves down into Virgo, a ratcheting up of these unexpected, lightning quick changes, some sort of aggressive act. And by September, let's just see when Mars goes into Virgo. So Mars is due to move into Virgo on June the 17th, 2025, and will stay there until August the 6th. So we're already starting. I mean, we're already starting to see some of the detail that is coming out in the budget, some of the detail coming out in the volatility of the White House, in the drug taking of Musk. He was a government advisor, very close to Trump. Some were calling him the real president of the United States. And we now see he's unfit and grossly unfit. In fact, he needs an intervention. And I think the same can be said for Donald Trump. There is nothing stable, nor I venture to say sane, not deluded, if I can put it like that, his actions are hurting a lot of people. And I'm not talking about people left out of work, but I see, someone like his health cabinet secretary removing water quality inspectors, food inspectors, viral disease, or not viral, but disease experts in regional and rural areas, surveillance teams, I should say. All of this is like a disaster waiting to happen. Not to mention the security breaches we have here Tulsi Gabbard, the head of the CIA, wanting to hire Fox producers to present intelligence reports in broadcast form because he can't read. And so you ask yourself, what could go wrong? Well, something is going to go wrong. And by September, the details, as we have Mars moving down into Virgo, the details are going to be emerging, and there will be some sort of action taken by September to curtail his power. The moon is currently in his first house. The moon is about emotions. He could be dwelling on things now. Its moon can also be volatility and negative emotions as well coming to the fore. Um, I just wanted to mention those couple of transits. On the plus side, transiting Saturn is in Aries now, which is new. It's invention. It's going to different types it's a different journey, if I can put it like that. Now, Saturn is the great malefic because it holds our feet to the flames. It's the taskmaster, it's the consequences, it's father time, it's the boundaries, and that's moving into his eighth house, which is why I think he's going to lose his authority or power in some way. I feel that it is more than just him not being allowed to put tariffs on. I think it's a fait accompli. The Supreme Court will take that power away. Um, it could be Congress um, watering down the more negative, harmful elements of the budget. In some way, his power is going to be curtailed. And by September, we see a huge shift. Now, in the reading that I did, I asked about, because I kept on getting the apprentice card, which can be his apprenticeship show, everything's reality TV, but it's also who is second in charge, who is the apprentice. It's JD Vance. Now, I got very strongly he's like that Marvel character of Mystique. Um, I know I'm talking about the Vice President of the US, but he's able to change his skin to suit his situation. I feel that there is an underlying plot eventually to remove Trump from office. Okay, it could be they go to him and say, "Well, you've crashed our economy, you've made too many enemies, time for you to go." Something. If you go quietly, we'll do the pardon for you, and you can just take off and play golf for the rest of your time. Um, will it come to that? It's a possibility. So let's get started. I don't think that Trump is fully running the White House. Um, let's just have a look at these cards. I'm using the old style tarot and the um, New Vision Tarot by Cairo Marchetti. Eight of Wands headlines. Something's brewing, some sort of scandal, something worse than what we know. It's a quickening, I feel. Something major is going to occur. Um, let's have a look. Is Trump really running the White House? Is Trump really running the White House? So we get here the Seven of Swords, lies, deceit, things being out of control. It's like a very toxic atmosphere, the cunning or the dead. And then we have the Two of Pentacles in this, looks a bit like alcohol here. Um, decisions being made. So we not somebody's lying to us about who's making the decisions. Okay, so we have victory here. Victory is at the foundation of the reading. So I think they've worked out in advance what he's going to be involved in and what he's not. He won the presidency, so We get the Six of Swords. He saved his hide. He moved, he doesn't have to face any of those prosecutions. He's out of troubled waters. Now we have the Eight of Wands, something moving very, very quickly, usually headlines. Something is going to occur, as I said. I've just got this feeling. The Moon card is in the immediate future. Now the moon card can be volatility, can be things coming up from the surface. Again, it's in his first house of identity. Details are going to be revealed about something. We're on the cusp of hearing about something that he's done. Now the Devil card is in the here and now. This is attachment, it's toxicity, it's also drug abuse as well. And the High Priestess, a secret is being revealed. Ooh, so we are we're about to learn something about complete breakdown of boundaries. We're hoping that the boundaries are the boundaries hold. The Three of Wands and a matter with overseas, waiting for one ship to come in. And we have miracles, but we also have being disappointed. Okay, so he is going to be thwarted. Retreat, ill health. Wow, wow. Yep. Okay, so is he running the White House? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. He's got out of trouble. He's got what he wished. His meme coin, whatever else is there, the power, drunk on power. But the consequences are coming. The consequences are coming for him. And we get this wounded in battle. This retreat could be ill health. And then we get full illumination. So something is coming. The Knight of Swords, the truth, moderation, and here's the Hermit, isolation, and the Star card. So while something is occurring, it seems like there's a catalytic event, and then after that, everybody's a lot safer. Um, okay, so is JD Vance? Let's just have a look at those cards. Is JD Vance plotting to take over the presidency? Because that's what I feel. That's what I feel is happening. JD Vance, is JD Vance plotting? There's a connection to a centaur here who plotted against Nesu, is it? I should look at JD Vance's astrology chart. Okay, I should look at Trump's again. Is JD Vance plotting to take over the presidency? Is JD Vance plotting to take over the presidency? The Hermit card, isolation, introspection and review, and then wish fulfillment. Wish fulfillment, someone being isolated and that being someone's wish. The King of Pentacles is at the foundation of this reading. That's my card for Trump. We get the Fool card, a new start in the past, and we get the Five of Cups. That's loss, can be death. None of this is working out the way that it was intended. There is division within the White House, a lot of division and fighting. The King of Swords, object being objective, and the Eight of Wands. That's also prosecution. And the Eight of Wands is we're going to hear about something soon. The Nine of Swords is great deal of anxiety. And then the Knight of Cups, a deal being done, a deal being offered. The Six of Pentacles, a helping hand. And the Three of Pentacles, somebody working, a team working on something. And then the Ten of Cups, the voter. These are yes cards, by the way. The Empress card, abundance. Sorry, families, and some sort of inevitability, the truth. And there's that Knight of Wands who's on the go, and the economy. So I feel that there is a possibility that Trump does not retain in some way, whether it's ill health or in some other way. I still see the assassin, but I definitely see that JD Vance is undermining. It's undermining Trump for his own ends. Okay, so plotting against him. All right. I want to see. I don't think there will be war with Iran, but I do see that the US might move some ships closer to Iran. I also see a ceasefire for Gaza as well. That's the one good news I had in the previous reading. So, um, will the US go to war with Iran? Will the US go to war with Iran? King of Swords, objectivity, prosecution, families, and judgment and inevitability. That's not what I want to see. The King of Pentacles is in the past. Five of Wands is division in the sky, lack of agreement over the nuclear arsenal. Two of Cups, a deal is made. Okay, that's good. The World card, an ending to something. And then we get a crossroads as in the environment. Okay, this would draw everybody into it. I think they're going to announce some kind of temporary deal. I don't know what that could be. Three of Pentacles in the hopes and fears, and the Five of Cups, death, loss. It's a no card though. Page of Swords can be spies, can be yeah. They are going to announce some sort of deal. Yeah, some sort of deal. The Lovers card, but it's going to be a deal that's hard to maintain. All right, so expect a short-term announcement. It could be that they've done some sort of deal, but it doesn't work out in the longer run. And it seems like there's a flexing of muscles first, perhaps moving ships into that region. All right, can you please confirm that my intuition was correct, that there is a ceasefire in Gaza? Is there a ceasefire? An aid station was Israeli snipers shot at people trying to get food. Again, devastating. Devastating. Okay, so they bombed a doctor and his family's house. They bombed a school a couple of weeks ago. It just keeps going on. So many innocent lives lost. Over 50,000 innocent lives lost now. Innocent Palestinian lives. Okay, so is there a ceasefire for Gaza? Is there a ceasefire for Gaza? Nine of Cups. Looking good as I thought. Something coming to fruition in time. Okay, that's good. I'm so pleased. But we get the Hermit card, isolation, review, Page of Swords in the past, the Hanged Man. Yeah, the Hangman came up potentially before, which is why I thought there's a pause in the fighting. The Ten of Pentacles, the Knight of Wands, Page of Wands, the Nine of Pentacles. There's a lot of money around this, and the King of Wands. Yeah, Ace of Cups, a reset. Three of Cups, celebrations. There's a ceasefire announced pretty soon. Okay, now again, it will only be a temporary one, I think, but it's a ceasefire, and lives will be spared. Okay, during that ceasefire. Okay, I hope I'm right on that. All right. Is China is China okay? So the Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth basically told all Asian countries, including Australia, to up the ante on their to spend more on defence. Again, who is the biggest provider of military weapons and machinery and arms in the world? It's the US. And so when he goes around telling people to up the ante on their GDP, it's spend some more money with us at the same time while we're putting tariffs on you and trying to destroy you in order to give me a leg up. So what did the Australian Prime Minister say? Very politely, he said, Australians and Australians only will decide our defence spending. It's to be remembered that China is not Australia's enemy. It is our biggest trading partner. And Anthony Albanese also said, I think it's a message his defence ministers carried as well, we prefer diplomacy, transparency and diplomacy. Okay, so I feel that the US is going to ask something of Australia, is going to ask something of Australia that would be detrimental to our national interests in relation to China, whether it's spying on China or something like that. They're going to demand we do something, and our Prime Minister is going to say no. We're actually going to win in the end. Okay. Remember, this is a very dangerous period that we're in. As Mars moves down over the next few weeks and then into his first house. It's up until, I think, September when I feel that shift. It's a dangerous period for all of us, not only Americans, people who live in the United States, but for us as well, because Donald Trump's arms and reach and chaos comes to visit us in many forms. Okay, so watch for something he's going to ask us to do. Watch for our Prime Minister to say no. Okay, so is China a threat to Australia? Is China a threat to Australia? Is China a threat to Australia? It would really hurt our agricultural industry, whatever he's asking. So we get the Eight of Pentacles. That's the learning. And then we get the Hierophant, the government. I feel Australia is making great strides. And I'm not just saying that because I'm Australian. We rejected MAGA outright. We rejected Trumpism outright. Our landslide victory for sanity was an inspiration, as was Canada's. The Queen of Swords, objectivity. Thank God, objectivity. Stability through objectivity. The Ten of Pentacles, business, money, inheritances, our standard of living. The Knight of Swords, the truth, facing the truth. We get the Three of Pentacles, working together to build something. Okay, we would rather work with China than against China, but that puts us at odds with Trump. The King of Swords, objectivity. I don't know what Anthony Albanese's star sign is. I should know, but there's a lot of air energy here. Words, thoughts, communications, objectivity, planning, strategizing. Then we have the King of Pentacles. Okay, so we have planned, as someone who used to work in government, we've planned for all these scenarios with Trump. The Magician, manifestation in the hopes and fears, also manipulation, and the Four of Cups. Yeah, 3 cups lost and 1 remaining. So whatever is asked of us puts us into some kind of peril with China, but we're able to get through it. Yep, yep. The end, the World card, the end of whatever we've lost, and the Ace of Wands, a new start. Oh, thank God. Okay, it's going to put our trade relationships in some sort of peril. There's sabotage, and then we get moving very, very quickly. I have to say, he could demand we don't trade as much with China, or we do more with the US, something like that. But we successfully move through it. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. And that is why we voted for objective government. This is what we saw coming down the pipe. And this is what we have averted or will avert. There is some consequential loss in whatever this situation is, but I think it has to do with trade and perhaps a request to. Anyway, it'll hit the headlines, but we say no and we're able to get through this as independently as we possibly can. That's good. Okay. Is there anything else that I want to look at? Poland's presidential election. Poland's presidential election. Okay, two candidates for president. There is the current governing party candidate and a MAGA nationalistic candidate, and it's extremely close. And MAGA from the United States is trying to interfere in Poland's election. So, all right, does the MAGA candidate get up? Does the MAGA president, nationalistic MAGA president in Poland, does he win this election? Does the MAGA nationalistic presidential candidate win this election? I think it's a female. Okay, so we get a lot of infighting and division, and we get Russia. Okay, so expect some kind of news that Russia might be the MAGA candidate is pro-Russia. Ooh, the blank card is at the foundation of the reading, something unknowable. The Ace of Cups in the past, emotions being reset. We get the Chariot card, things moving very quickly. Can be something out of that's hard to control. Emotions hard to control. The Queen of Pentacles, that's stability. It's also a female card, doesn't necessarily mean that's for the female. We get the Page of Pentacles in the here and now, the economy, and then we get headlines, things. We're going to hear something. I don't know when this election is. Someone wins, but not by much. Let's see. Moderation is in the hopes and fears, temperance, and we get the Four of Wands, families, the Three of Pentacles. And then we get the King of Swords, objectivity, and the Hanged Man pausing something. Okay, so Nine of Pentacles, money, and a lot of anxiety. Okay, so it looks like that she, the nationalistic candidate, doesn't get a straight run because I've got the Hanged Man here as the first major arcana. But it's close. It's a very, very, very close result. Can you show me, is this correct? The King of Swords. Not sure what the governing party star sign is, but I don't see a straight out win here for the MAGA candidate, King of Wands. Okay, so let's have a look. Is this correct? Does she actually lose, but not by much? Does the MAGA candidate lose and they go more objectivity? Something to do with three. Three. Does the MAGA candidate not win? Is that what I'm picking up with that Hanged Man? Page of Coins, the closeness and the High Priestess. The Knight of Coins, stability and moving out of troubled waters. Again, a crossroads, Russia interfering, and a new start. Okay, Seven of Swords, there's some sort of lie in the Tower here. The Six of Coins, the Hermit, and the Page of Swords, the Nine of Cups. Okay, so what I'm thinking here is that sanity actually does prevail. There is a connection going to emerge, a strong connection, something around Russian. There's a Russian connection here with the MAGA candidate. I feel they're going to go for security in much of the same way as Australia did, but it's very, very close, and it's so close that maybe it could go either way. Nine of Pentacles, the Two of Wands, and the Four of Swords. Yeah, there's something around money here. Four of Pentacles. There's something here to do with money that actually turns against this candidate if it is a female, the MAGA candidate, and there's something around money that becomes a scandal. I don't think they get over the line. Anyway, we'll see. All right, that's it for today, the second recording. Thanks for tuning in. Bye for now. Hunker down. More and more details are going to be emerging in the United States over the next few months. This is a very volatile period right now. I think, yes, JD Vance is maneuvering behind Trump's back. I do feel that come September, his power is curtailed. I'm talking about Trump's power is curtailed. There's still an assassin lurking around. Anyway, that's it. Bye for now.